Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TNP Finance, where you make long and short-term investing simple. Today we're going to take a look at a bunch of things here, help you give a lot more insight into the market, a lot more expectation of what you could be looking out for when it comes to your trades in the short term. So we're going to take a look at the NASDAQ and a bunch of individual stocks running the NASDAQ that have great upside potential. We're going to be taking a look at the market, economic conditions, we're going to be talking about news, we're going to be talking about XRP. So without further ado, let's hop straight into it. Today on the NASDAQ, we're up 0.45%, a bit more of a bullish day, and this is a great day for the NASDAQ here. Considering that we were falling pretty hard in the past 3 days, it's nice to see that the bulls are back in control. And not only that, if we zoom into the shorter time frame here, not only can we see that on the daily chart, we are engulfing at the moment the previous day. We don't have a lower wick, we have the sweep here and a push up. But not only that, let's just take a look at the shorter time frame here for the 15-minute chart. And we can see that in the short term, we have broken this falling resistance. So this falling resistance was from all-time highs here, and we've broken above that, and we've gotten a very nice retest of this level as well. We can see it right here, broken above again, retest. So we avoided the fake out, we bought right over here. This trade was made public in the Discord community, and as long as we hold above here for another 19 minutes or so, we are going to stay very, very strong to the upside. So that is what I'm looking for when it comes to the NASDAQ 100. In the short term, I think something like a take profit of 24,700 could be a very good take profit. This was a previous resistance line. I think if you're just looking for a quick short-term trade, you could be looking for that level right over there. If you want to let this position run, you think we're going to get new all-time highs, I think that's a very, very smart idea too. I think you could just let it run as long as you're not scared that you're going to be missing out, scared that you're going to be losing money off of your open P&L. Go ahead and do that. I have my stop loss right at this retest here. If we form below the retest in the short time frame, like a 15-minute, that's typically not a great sign. There's really no reason for the NASDAQ to be doing that within a bull trend. So that is my outlook when it comes to the NASDAQ in the short term. Let's talk about a little bit more long term now. I want to talk about news. I want to talk about price action, and let's actually address the news. So there's been a lot of news today, and I'm not just talking about the news that we've gotten for the market here, like the core PCE. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff here. I am talking about a government shutdown. Now, if you don't know what a government shutdown is, it sounds extremely bearish on paper, but it's actually it's not as threatening as you might think. So basically, this government shutdown here, it's basically where the government is running out of money because Congress hasn't agreed to a new funding bill. So Democrats and Republicans, they're kind of going fist over fist, and the Democrats, they want to keep healthcare subsidies and avoid cuts to Medicaid, but Republicans are wanting a quote-unquote clean funding bill without those extras, and they're also pushing for spending cuts. So since neither side is really budging, the government can't pass a budget in time, which forces a shutdown until they work it out. So it's really not as threatening as it sounds on paper. And let's just talk about what we can expect when it comes to these government shutdowns. Let's take a look in the past and see how the market has performed in the past year. Let's talk about short shutdowns, 1 to 5 days. Markets typically, they don't really move too much. We can see an example in 1981 for 2 days, 1982 for 1 day, 1990 for 3 days, and the S&P pretty much just stayed flat. Now, let's talk about some medium shutdowns, 1 to 2 weeks. The performance has been pretty mixed, but there is a 60 to 65% chance that that it's been bullish. There's a 60-65% average that it's been bullish. When we take a look at 2013, we can see that there was a 3% increase during the 16-day pause, and then it doesn't really trigger that many big sell-offs as well, even in the medium term. Now we want to look at long-term shutdowns. We can see that over 20 days, the market has really loved the shutdowns. You can see massive rallies from these. Examples can be seen in 1995 to 1996, where the government was shut down for 21 days. Right after the pause, the market surged up 20% in the year after. And then from 2018 to 2019, that was one of the longest pauses, if not the longest pause, for 35 days. The S&P shut down, and it gained 10% during the shutdown of 35 days. So it's been a very, very bullish case. Now, here's the thing. When you hear statistics like this, it doesn't mean you go blindly buying into the market. If you are a day trader, if you're a long-term trader, there's never a bad time to buy into the NASDAQ technically. But if you are a short-term trader, you're not just buying in because it's going to go up. This is still 50-50. Now, when you have a combination of knowledge like this, you have a combination of risk analysis on the chart, you know which levels you're looking out for I think that can be a very bullish combination. Now, not only that, let's talk about statistics when it comes to the markets in the NASDAQ. If we talk about the S&P's average monthly return, we can see that its average monthly return for September is in the negative, 0.7%. However, as soon as October hits, you're looking at 0.5%, and then November and December are a little bit higher. That being said, we've had a very bullish September. Even though there's been a lot of fear this September, we're actually not in extreme greed. We are just in the lower to middle of greed in the market. We can see that we still are up 4.71 for this month alone. So if that's a bearish month, I'd love to see what the next month has in store. And again, it's not gospel, these statistics. This is just the average, so it's very likely as well that we could also have a day or a month in October that is not as profitable as September. But right now, I am really liking the chances of having a very green October, especially if we can break above this 24,800 resistance line. That is the previous all-time high line, and if we can push above that before the end of September 30th, that will be absolute blue skies territory. The market will rally up, especially in combination with this government shutdown. The government shutdown is expected to be for a few days or a couple weeks. So that's looking like a medium shutdown. Again, there's really no saying. That's just what it typically averages out to. So we could see the NASDAQ move maybe 1 to 2% with just that information alone, especially considering that it's a bullish month. So right now, if we do get a break above and you're looking for another trade here, waiting for a break above this level, waiting for a retest, and then pushing all the way up to some new all-time highs. And that's going to be very, very juicy once we do so. Now, if you are delusional for some reason and you want to be shorting this market, I'm going to tell you, you should not short it. I'm going to tell you that there's a 100% chance that you should not short it right now. Why? There's not confirmation. There's no confirmation. We've gotten a very strong support line over here. And not just that, if we take a look at the previous support line, we are having support lines off of support lines. That's showing that the market momentum is only getting stronger. We've rallied up 50%, and if you were shorting the market, it's probably because you lost money and that you were just looking for that win to get back and you were just trying to be desperate. It's not going to work like that for you. If we do receive confirmation, and I'm not saying that it's impossible, but if we do receive confirmation that we are looking to move down into a bearish trend, you could be looking for a break below 24,000 to really start looking for some short positions. And I'm just talking about as a day trader. Now, if we do break below a level like 22,900, that is when you are looking, even as a long trader, to maybe close down on some of your positions, because then we could come back all the way down to previous all-time highs. But right now, the market hasn't been in a stronger place than where it is currently, and I'm seeing a lot of upside from this level here, especially if we get that confirmation to the upside. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ over here, and we can see that the heat map for the NASDAQ has been, it's been a little bit mixed, but it's been mostly bullish. You have NVIDIA, Microsoft, Google, the market leaders right now. They are in the green today. Maybe not by much, but it's still in the green. It's still a lot better than what we've seen the past 3 days. Let's talk about Costco real quick. So at the top of my corner here, Costco, they had earnings last night. They beat earnings, but only 9 out of 20 times that Costco has had bullish earnings in the past, what would it be, 5 years, have they had a bullish reaction. So not great. They're typically very bullish when it comes to earnings too. But if you are looking to place a long trade, just because you think that a stock is going to have good earnings, you are going to lose. Why? Because there's no promises, there's no guarantees in the market when it comes to earnings. It means absolutely nothing. It's very emotional. So if you were able to avoid this, congratulations. If you were like some people I know who placed long positions or even calls on Costco, you did a really poor job of having self-restraint and having a good solid trading plan with risk levels attached to that. So that's pretty much my thoughts for Costco there. But let's just take a look at the market here. I think this is looking very, very bullish. And not just on the NASDAQ can we see breaks above resistance levels, but let's just take a look at Microsoft over here. As of Microsoft, we're going to take a look over here. I'm just going to search up Microsoft on my chart. We'll come back to SPGI in a second. But right now for Microsoft, not only have we gotten a break of this falling resistance all the way from all-time highs after the market gapped up after earnings, we've also received a secondary breakout of this falling resistance line in the past couple days here. And when the market opened up today on the 1 hour chart, we broke above it, got this retest, and started pushing up higher. So very nice to see. We can also see that Microsoft is above its previous support levels as well, or previous resistance levels as well. So very, very strong sign for Microsoft, especially in the short term. So right now, if you're looking for a trade to Microsoft, I think it's very possible that we could come up and touch this resistance line at the top here. I'm looking for maybe the next touch to be about 524 per share, and then you can have your stop loss right underneath the support level. I think that could be a very good trade. I want to talk about SPGI. Now, this is a stock that I was looking at when I do my analysis for my stock reading, my stock screening, I should say. I stumbled across this, and this is a fantastic stock. I'm just taking a look at what analysts are saying, and within the next year, they're expecting upside to about $620 a share. That's on average, and that's between maybe 6 or 7 different sources. I'm not saying 6 or 7 different analysts. I'm saying 6 and 7 different sources that have maybe 20, 30 analysts looking at this. So that is a very good take profit. And right now, what I can see in the daily chart for SPGI, what I can see here is that we have a very strong, this is one of the strongest support lines I've seen in the past. At $477 a share, we can see that we've had a lot of rejections off of this zone. Again, analysts are expecting a higher price than we've ever potentially thought of in the past. If we do get a test to this level over here, that is immediately when you're buying. You are biting right away because that is a very bullish sign, and the risk to reward for this trade is absolutely fantastic as well. 10.78% to the upside, 9.1 risk to reward ratio. If you want to let it run, I'm going to say this. If we get to this level here at 532, there is a higher chance that we'll receive new all-time highs before we receive a retest of 477. So that could be a very good chance for you to take this trade all the way up to new all-time highs, at least at maybe, let's say, 595 before that $600 psychological level. That's giving you an even better risk reward, and this is just absolutely abysmal. 20 risk reward, 24%. It's not impossible. When I took trades for AMD earlier in the year, I was making on the chart 100%, right? I bought at $90 a share, I sold at 180, and I had a risk reward of something crazy like that. It was like in the 20s. It's not impossible. You have good risk reward, you have good risk levels, and again, I couldn't care if SPGI goes higher or lower, because again, this is not the only stock I'm looking at. So I can be very unbiased and I can just wait for confirmation, and that's how you get fantastic trades. Now, we're currently beating the market by like 900% or something absolutely ridiculous. I've lost track. But if you are interested in learning all these trades that I'm currently taking and how I'm beating the market by that much, come take a look at that link in my description, wallop.com/TNP-finance. You're going to be able to get all the trades that I take in real time for cryptocurrency, indices, commodities, and stocks as well. So if you're looking to take that trading game up to the next level, you already know what to do. But SPGI, this is the same company that does the S&P 500 pretty much. This is basically, if you take a look at their summary, S&P Global Incorporated, together with the subsidiaries, provides credit ratings, benchmarks, analytics, and workflow solutions in the global capital, commodity, and automotive markets. So that is a very strong chunk and a very big chunk of what there pretty much is within the stock market. They pretty much do everything, and I mean, this is again based off of the market as well, and we can see that the market's rallying at all-time highs, and this is at a very low point here, not a yearly low, but a very significant low compared to where we've been in the past. So that's what I'm looking for when it comes to SPGI. I want to talk about one more thing here. I want to talk about XRP. Now, I'm not a crypto guy, however, I have never lost money with cryptocurrency. And why is that? It's just like what I explained with SPGI. I can be very, very far away from the chart because I wait for confirmation and I wait for strong analysis. Now, what am I seeing here? And it's very apparent right here. Support line, a super strong support line can be seen right here at 2.72. Now, I believe that with, people talking about alt season and this and that, and I think the chart's at like 72 or 73, there is a lot of bullish eyes on XRP. Not a lot of confirmation yet, but a lot of bullish eyes. And again, I like to take these very low risk trades where I can look for a lot of upside. I'm looking for upside all the way up to 3.54. I think that is a very safe level where we can come and maybe even just get a double top from that level. But still, I will make 28.58% to the upside here. This trade has also been placed in the Discord as well, and I'll only look to risk about 2.6%. Again, 11 risks to reward. What can I do? I can just place my trade, wait for confirmation for the downside to close my trade, but I think it's very likely that we could receive a move all the way to the upside at 3.6. Now, if we do break below this level at 2.7, you could be looking for the next support level, which can be seen here at 1.95. And even if we do come down, I think it's very expected that overall in the next 3 to 4 years, XRP will be significantly higher. Now, I'm not even a crypto bull. I don't like cryptocurrency, but this is just so obvious that if you are buying here and close the trade here because you close out and then you rebuy it here, or you rebuy it when we break above this line here, you can't go wrong. These are very high reward, low risk trades to be looked at. But that's pretty much my look when it comes to the market overall. There are so many trades, and I'm not going to tell you which ones because I do have to keep some of my information exclusive for my Discord members. But I do normally, I don't really gatekeep, but I'm going to tell you right now, you can look at pretty much any tech stock and you can find a breakout. So if you are looking to get active in the market, I'm going to tell you right now, yes, the market has moved up 50% for the NASDAQ in the past couple months, but we're not at the end. This is just the beginning for you to be taking trades in the market. So thank you very much for tuning in. Happy trading, everybody. And I hope that next week will bring us a lot of good fortune. So let's get it. Take care, y'all. I'll see you soon.